Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Languages Pedagogy Podcast. Today we continue on this little journey looking for teachers, wonderful teachers worldwide that can actually help us and help the new teachers, the novice teachers, to give them a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel or help students, language learners, any language. So today we have quite of a different of an episode. Today we have a teacher, Russian teacher, who's going to help us, who's going to guide us a little bit on what this language is, how difficult can it be, or the challenges that it actually poses to some of the students. So let's take a look at what happens today. So I don't want to talk too much, and I want to let you present yourself. Introduce yourself, Laura.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Laura, and I'm currently living in China. And what I do right now is teaching young learners English and adult learners Russian. So I have two directions right now, and I've been teaching English more than 20 years already. And 6 of them are here in China. And now I'm thinking about a personal shift because teaching children, yeah, that's absolutely amazing experience, but I want something else. And now what I'm trying to do is just to shift to teaching adult learners.
Whoa, that's a good
Yeah,
shift.
teaching Russian. Yeah.
From young learners then to teach adults, from teaching English
and from English to Russian.
Wow, that's a good shift. But that's very interesting journey. I like that journey. For sure, you have a lot of stories over there about the things, the differences between English learners or Chinese learners learning English or learning Russian. As a personal experience, I love Russian. I love that language. It's so interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Difficult as it is, but beautiful. So
Absolutely
let's
beautiful,
start with that one. I think I would like to know, what originally drew you to languages, and why Russian now?
To begin with, I need to say that from the very young age, I knew that I want to be a teacher.
Wow.
And I don't know why it's even difficult to explain, but I knew that it would be English. I had that sense that English opens many doors, and it can, let's say, give me something different, something unusual. And I was doing that. I was living with that idea for many years. And when it was time, like, to choose the direction, professional direction, I even didn't have any doubts. I wanted to be an English teacher. That's how my journey to the languages started. And as I mentioned before, I was teaching English for young learners pretty much more than 20 years, and it was a long journey. And I decided to switch. So number one, because I wanted something else, like deeper conversations, connection, different level of connections. And I think now it's absolutely obvious that the relationship between China and Russia is getting better and better, closer and closer.
Not a secret.
And Russian language is getting more and more popular. And I saw that demand that adult learners, they want to learn Russian, and they have absolutely clear goals like business, relocation, relationship with women or men from a different country.
Yeah.
And for me, I think that's a mixture.
Mm-hmm.
The right time And as I mentioned before, the personal shift.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think it's a really good one. I mean, that fair enough, you made that switch in, that shift, because I think it's a good time actually for China and Russia right now. And yeah, political perspective also gets in between, I think. And now that I've been to a couple of cities in the south, and I even saw, where was it? Sanya. They're all the label signs are all in Russian.
yeah, yeah,
That was shocking because what? And well, there's a lot of Russian living there, and that's pretty good. I mean, that's how it is, we gotta actually just follow um what the market in the moment is asking us to do. And Russian is absolutely one of them right now. And little by little, it's gonna start growing and growing. I
yeah, I
compare it
know.
also with Spanish. But Spanish has also like coming up little by little, I think.
Yeah,
And
it's
now that we have the Russian part, why you think so many learners perceive Russian as one of the hardest languages?
yeah, Russian language definitely has that fame of the most difficult language in the world. And to be fair, the part of it is the truth. Because Russian grammar is super complicated, super complex. So there are six cases in Russian language, and endings. They are changing all the time, depending on the context, depending on the case, tense,
Mhm.
and every single word
Cases.
in the sentence can be changed. And of course, like for people who are trying to learn that language, it's just unbelievable how the language can be flexible.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, it's not the whole picture. At the same time, and you also said that Russian language is very beautiful in terms of how you can express your ideas. There are a lot of shadow in the meanings and intonation. And so everything that you put into your sentence with the intonation, rhythm, melody can change the meaning like completely. And
Yeah.
that's another side. And of course, like if you are planning to make the language your profession, like maybe you're a linguist, you're a teacher, interpreter, of course, you need to know these things and like to put a lot of attention to know the grammar properly. But if your goal is just to communicate, to speak, you don't have to know all the cases, you don't have to know all the endings. All you need to focus in to use language, how actually ordinary people do that
Yeah,
in real life. Yeah.
exactly. It's exactly what happened in all the languages, I think. A lot of people
Yeah.
get worried so much about the grammar and sounds perfect. And I was actually having this conversation with one of the teachers from Argentina. When was it? A day before yesterday. I was actually having this conversation, and she was like telling me, I don't know why most of the students get so like intense, like they get so frustrated about the grammar and all that. But I was thinking, yeah, I mean, but that's the case in English, but maybe might be totally different in Russian.
Think every single skill, wherever the language is, or it can be absolutely everything. All you need to do is just to practice, repeat, practice,
Yeah.
practice, practice, and do that again and again and again. Same with languages, same English, Spanish, Chinese, Russian. It doesn't matter what language is. All you need to do is not try to be perfect, not to try understand everything, especially at the beginning when you just start learning, but to use language, to use
Mhm.
it immediately, even if it's a very simple words, simple sentence, but use it. Yeah, it's just the way how you
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah, exactly. A natural way.
Yeah,
There's a word in Russian that comes one time. It was very hard for me. I don't know. Ona, Anna.
Anna.
But there's one that is Ona, and there's another one that is Anna.
Yes, that's another thing about Russian language. My husband also is saying, "Why, guys, why are you changing everything? How can we sound?" I
Hey,
said, "Don't focus on that. Just memorize how to pronounce that. That's it. All you need to communicate." Yeah. Um,
I think that's
if
one
you
of
are
the
trying,
cases.
um, that's the way you read and write the word, and another way you are pronouncing the word. So you say, you write Ona, but you say Anna. It's okay, absolutely okay for us, but for those who are learning, a
That's
bit
enough.
difficult.
That's I remember when I was actually trying to learn Russian. It was really complex in that sense. Try to match also the cases. That's another one. Super, super hard. But yeah, it's actually good that you're telling us this, that all the languages are quite the same. Everything depends on the practice, how much effort you put on
Yeah,
into it. So there's another aspect that happens with the students. And since you've been actually on the business and teaching a lot and throughout your career, I mean, regardless of the language that you've been teaching, there's a psychological aspect there, which is a barrier. What kind
yeah.
of a fear or anxiety do you see most often in your students when learning Russian, for example?
The most common fears. I'm afraid to start. I'm afraid to sound stupid or
Hmm.
maybe not good enough. And I think that there are the most common things that people meet and face when they start learning Russian, especially. And I think in this case, there are no tips, but one: just go through, just meet your fear, just start doing. And you know, you can give really good advice, like, oh, think about this and that, find the right motivation. Nothing is working. The only thing is working when you do little steps every day, but you do and do and do. That's it, that works. Yeah, psychologically sometimes it's difficult to begin, especially when it seems quite complex, when it seems like endless. You can learn and learn and learn, and there is no end.
Yeah.
You can do it forever. But the only thing you can do is just to do. That's it.
No other way, no choice.
No way. No, no. Just do and repeat.
Exactly. Now, Russian maybe because of the reputation that it has, let's call it like a reputation problem because it's pretty well known that Russian is very difficult. And maybe that affects the motivation or the motivational part. Don't you agree with it?
I would agree, yeah, because people are always afraid of something that they don't know and sounds really scary, difficult, complex. And that's how people are. And again, um, you can prepare yourself for a long time, but the only way to do and to begin, just to begin, and to complete, just to do steps every single day. That's it.
Exactly. So, moving on a little bit to the most specific part, pronunciation. Crazy. I don't know why, but I think honestly, comparing the language, I think Russian is not that hard in terms of pronunciation, comparing it to Chinese.
Yeah, if we compare Russian with Chinese.
Capture live precious moments in stunning details with our professional cameras. Unleash your creativity and preserve memories like never before. Visit us now at frameflowcn.com.
We don't have tones, which is good, very
Yes.
good. Yeah, but many students and many learners find the pronunciation, I would say, hard, aggressive, like they feel too much pressure on their voice. But it's just at the beginning, and as soon as your body and like muscles, mouth get used to that and like picks that position of the mouth, lips, it doesn't feel like really hard to say. Another thing is that there are some sounds that just don't exist in Chinese language.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. And I even had a conversation on my social media when Chinese people were trying to convince me that to pronounce sound not correctly doesn't matter,
Okay.
which is just partly can be true, but no, it does. It matters.
Definitely.
Yeah, because it could be absolutely different meanings. Like, this sound r.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's the just biggest struggle, the
Okay.
main, I would say. Yeah, so difficult for them to pronounce, and they change it for l, which could be understandable in some cases, but I'm having the position that you have to pronounce words correctly,
Okay.
like not to have this mispronunciation and like misunderstanding.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So that's the sound that actually breaks students the most.
yeah,
The r sound.
yeah. Another one is they also don't have that we have that sound.
Oh yeah. I remember now. Is it the one with the letter is like a small b, like a
Yeah,
lowercase
small
b?
b and another line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Yeah, so that's another one which is very difficult
What
for them.
what about the other one that is like uh like it's like
Yeah,
no, it's like like yeah, something like it, yeah. No?
we have which is
Yeah.
not typical for Chinese language.
Yeah.
Also, same. I noticed that they also mispronounce zh,
J-
which
oh.
is surprise
Yes.
because they have something similar. But in the sentences, I noticed that the pronunciation of this zh also not really good.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But that's surprising actually, because they
yeah,
have that sound, and well, it doesn't have to surprise us, because anyway, in English, when you're teaching English to Chinese students, they even have the problems with the W, with the W, and the
yeah,
V. They tend to pronounce it the opposite. So the W sound they pronounce it V, and the V sound they pronounce it W.
yeah.
That's otherworldly. Anyway, so that there's another one. There's another Russian sound that is so hard. So I remember I was making so many mistakes on that one. It's one that it looks yes.
Yeah.
That's the one that actually looks like a
Yeah.
W
Yeah.
with a
That's the one.
like a little comma in the end, right?
Yeah, that's sh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is so hard to pronounce it sometimes. Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
it's hard, but it's possible
No,
to figure
definitely.
out. Yeah. So the thing is, like, you need to learn and practice how to put your lips, tongue, and teeth. You need to memorize that position and just practice.
Mhm.
Again, we are coming to the same point. You need to practice. You need to do it again and again, again and again. And by the way, I saw. I couldn't say many, Chinese people, but quite a lot. Like to say that many of them have really good pronunciation. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Another thing that I noticed, stressed or word emphasis, because it's also changing. We change everything in the words, and
True.
this word stress as well, because one word can have different stress, depends on the case or tense or context. Yeah,
Mm.
so that's also a bit difficult part for them to emphasize the stressed syllable and to use the correct intonation.
Mm. What word is difficult for Chinese students, for example? What word that you said that word and they're like, what? No, I cannot pronounce it. Any
Желать, that's difficult, yeah.
gelat? Is it ice
Желать.
cream?
No, that's wish.
I lost. The worst
Okay,
student in the world.
that's okay.
So, because I don't know why it actually came to me like gelat, like gelato
Gelato.
from gelato, yeah, from Italian or something like. So like, oh, is it? No. Oh,
Um,
gotcha. Gelat.
Работа.
Oh,
Работа. Yeah, so
work.
that's yeah, cool. Yeah.
Awesome. So if my teacher actually watches this video, at least she won't feel disappointed. At least I learned one word. Rabota. Interesting. So now going a little bit to the following part that it's after pronunciation, we gotta go to a little bit of reading. I think reading it's pretty easy. If someone comes from a Spanish country, I think it's easier because of the alphabet.
Yeah.
But for sure, for a Russian speaker, for a Chinese speaker, it's a lot more difficult. How long does it realistically take to feel comfortable with the Cyrillic alphabet?
Cyrillic alphabet looks terrible maybe for 2 days. Yeah, that's really easy to learn reading. And I would say reading Russian is the easiest part of the language because they also have Pini, which is kind of similar to Latin alphabet, yeah, English, Spanish. So some of the letters, like Cyrillic letters, they're very similar. They can sound similar to English or like Latin, yeah, languages. And you need just to memorize few letters to practice how to pronounce them correctly. That's it. If you see sh, you read sh. No, this combination like you have in Spanish or in English. If you have two letters, in one case you pronounce that the, in another one th. So, and you need to know. But in Russian language, if you see the letter, you read like the way it is in the alphabet. That's really easy. And I saw that in real life. So my husband doesn't speak Russian, and we were traveling in Russia. And yeah,
Lazy man, very lazy man. Come on, he's got the teacher at home. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, he is focusing more on Chinese language, but
Oh,
he does just slow. And he was just asking me, how do you say this? How do you pronounce this? Like, what letter is this? And like few minutes later, he could read the signs, like very simple words
cool.
in the environment. I was like, wow, that's impressive. How cool you are. So the reading part is the easiest, really.
Definitely.
Another thing is like to understand what you read.
Exactly.
Yeah. So to read words, sentences, text are super easy, but to understand what's the meaning, yeah, that's where the real learning begins.
Yes.
You need to understand the structure. You need to understand every single word. You need to understand what exactly what's the meaning of the sentence and so on and so forth. Because as I mentioned before, this language is very flexible. It doesn't have like really strict structure, for example, like English does.
Yes.
And we can put words where we want to. and it can mean absolutely different.
Yeah, exactly. But as you say, it's really easy. And but it also helps me with the Mongolian, for example.
Yeah,
Mongolian uses the Cyrillic alphabet, and
yeah.
I always try to practice by reading all the signs in Mongolian with the Cyrillic alphabet, and all that. It's like, okay, at least that's stayed in my mind, and I still remember. But it's really hard. But yeah, as one of the skills, I think, as you say, for sure, it's one of the easiest.
Mhm.
But learn the word, that's the difficult. Oh, there was one word, uh, super difficult. Oh, for example, in pronunciation, and even in reading it was quite hard. Japan. What is the other one? Japan. Japonia.
Япония.
Japonia. It's like,
Yeah,
Japonia, Japoniacs. Japonia, Japonics.
японец. Yeah,
Yes,
Japanese.
Japonians. Yeah,
It's a person.
yeah.
Японец, and the country Япония.
It's, it's,
You sound
it's
pretty natural. Yeah, it's really good.
but at the end, it's quite hard. The ending. Yeah, quite hard. My goodness. So, in with the Chinese students, why do they or some of them struggle even after learning the alphabet?
Uh, First, word emphasis. That's really difficult for them to memorize how to pronounce a word correctly. Because, as I mentioned before, these stressed syllables can be changed. And they are asking why, how to correct годы or году. I say, both are correct. What's
Okay.
the difference? So the difference is here and there, and try to explain. So that's what I see. What I see from working with Chinese learners. That's their struggle, the main struggle. Not only the pronunciation, but these emphasis words and syllables.
Yeah, pronunciation is the key here, right?
Yeah.
Also, so in one of the things that I would like to highlight, because this is another aspect of the Russian language that I also think most, talking about any other language, people get really scared. The Russian cases. Isn't it scary? No?
You know, I think why people are scared of like learning, these cases and trying to understand and complete. That's not cases as they are, cases themselves, but the way they are taught. You know what? Sometimes I hear from social media, I see some videos about like teaching Russian, and what I see is that that's really difficult to understand, even for me, who know how to use them, because it's, super abstract. That's really difficult to understand. Why are we doing that? What's the meaning of those cases? And I think the best way to learn them is just to learn the situations when we use one or another one, and how we use it in like speaking, like daily speaking, right? I think when you put grammar and situation, like real life situation, that's much easier to understand how to use and why we're using that. So you can see the connection between these two aspects.